guys were wondering, I'm worldwide. And in 3, 2, 1, Lee's now worldwide.
Worldwide.
So 2 worldwide guys. And what the heck, y'all? What the heck, y'all?
Pull up the rates. Let's see what the rates look like today.
The rates? Who wants to know about... Dude, every time you say that, everyone leaves.
I know. But you know what? What we do is...
the worst thing that people want to hear.
Loan officer stuff. Well, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about conspiracy theory.
All right, talk to me.
That's what I want to talk about.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, let's see. So, okay, there we are, man. There's our rates. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Chris and Lee Show. I'm Chris.
I'm Lee.
Yeah, no one cares. It's just Lee, guys.
Whatever.
It's just him about to go, about something.
What, something?
Ah!
Okay, what do we got? We got, who's logged in? We don't have anybody. Dude, nobody's here. KK.
Tons of people here for me.
KK started the day off perfectly.
Awesome. Poor connection.
Yeah. What's up, KK? Oh, we got poor connection. Great to see you. Oh, dude, we got some people here. We got some people there. Thank you, Facebook, for showing up. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're talking about the interest rates today. Today, 15-year fix, still 5.25. That's what they're putting out on the website. 30-year fix, 5.375. That is not your quote. That is a quote that New American Funding's put out to the world. You can see it by going to the top of our profile and then clicking cool stuff. And it'll all show up there. What's up, Juan? What's up, Mistin? We got some roses from KK. KK, thank you very much. You're amazing. You taught us a whole bunch of stuff. We always like when you join. Josh, Carol, we appreciate you. Oh, God, there's a lot of people coming in now. This is all good news. Is that on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, doesn't seem like it is. Okay, cool. So talk to me about, what are you working on? I did a loan yesterday for a foreign national non-citizen. Okay? So I'm talking with the client. Great people, awesome. They got piped in from India because they're high-level Intel/Microsoft, husband and wife team. And I'm talking to them and I'm saying, hey, listen, are you on your way to being a citizen? And the guy makes real clear. He says, no, and I do not want to give the impression that that's what we're trying to do. Whatever loan I have to get, I want to use that one. So immediately I start thinking Foreign Nationals Program. Okay, Foreign Nationals Program, cool. We can do them for people that are not U.S. citizens, that do not want to be U.S. citizens. So I'm going down the Foreign Nationals route. But just in case, it's called a 797 Notice of Action. So I put in the guideline 797 Notice of Action, and then some guidelines pop up. And it says, hey, listen, if this person is here and it has a date of entry and it has a couple of sponsorship situations and a few other boxes to check, you can do a regular Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loan. And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. And it does not say you have to have a intention to be a U.S. citizen. And it says on the notice of action, this is not a supplement for a green card. And I sat there and I had to read the guidelines for a while. And I plugged it all in exactly like that. And I got an approved eligible.
Sweet.
For somebody that is not a U.S. citizen, that is not trying to be a U.S. citizen. However, here's the catch. They were sponsored by, in this case...
We'll get to you, Birmingham, Rick. We'll get to you in a sec.
In this case, they were sponsored by Microsoft and Intel. So they're sponsored. So you have to be sponsored by a company. Then you have to come in through a notice of action, and there's a 797A.
You too, Javis. Be there in a sec.
And I was sitting there going, I can't believe this. This is amazing. So I double check, send it through management, send it through everything. I'm actually sending it to as a full TBD underwrite just to make sure. But I was very excited about that because I don't have to go for a national program. In other words, 5% down.
So Birmingham Rick said, why can't USA people get the same loans as immigrants? This is not the same thing as you hear on the news, Birmingham Rick.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not better. What Lee is saying is that if you are not a U.S. citizen, you can still buy a house. You do have to put more money down, forced to put more money down. You do have to have a less than great interest rate, or not as good as what you guys get, like what Lee talks about on the websites. So it's not the same thing. You don't want it if you're a U.S. citizen. But in this situation, freaking fantastic.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. Josamine. Hi, if I switch one job to another, but I have the same job title, does that affect work history?
So, Josamine, yes, it affects your work history because you have a different job. But Does it affect your work history from the perspective of getting a loan? Probably not. Probably not. Usually people leave a job because of a better situation, usually more money or less drive or whatever. But all I have to do is prove to an underwriter that that's the reason you did it. Less drive, more money, family member, whatever, better retirement. Once I prove that, no problem at all.
Javis, what? I want to know what you do for a living. I've seen you here often. I'm going to learn all about you. I'm going to put your file together in my head. Want to buy a duplex, homemade. Want to buy a duplex home, made $52,000 last year, $80K this year, $1099 net.
Ooh, 80
750 credit score, $12K savings, no debt. So I want to know what you do, man.
$80K net. Do you think he's asking about what he can get?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm saying, well, you probably start at 360, and from there go maybe all the way up to 420.
And after you answer that, send him a link to the shirts, man.
Hey, Javis.
Send him a link.
Okay, so here's how the shirts worked out for me a while back. First off, I visited this place called Giorgenti. It's a place in New York when I was in New York. I love New York when I was in New York. And then they said, hey, we'll ship them to you, but we have to measure you first. So they measure you all out. Then they went online for a little while, and Giorgenti was selling online, and then they just stopped. I think it was during COVID. And they said it doesn't make enough money for us. So they only, paused by the way, they only send if you're already been measured by them, and then they'll send you a fabric probably once a month. They send me different fabrics, and they say choose this, or this, and just write a check, and we're good to go. So that's how that one works.
Birmingham
and
Rick?
it's called Giorgenti.
Birmingham Rick?
New York.
660. Yep, we can help you in Georgia.
Absolutely.
You got to call us, man. Time for commercial.
Okay, if you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. The badass loan officers at New American Funding are Chris and Lee. Here's a phone number, and it will disappear via special effects in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Boom.
Hey, share the live. Double tap the screen. Let the world know that we are helping you get your house in 2024. We'd like to help you get your house in 2023, but that passed. If we were able to, we did. In 2024, though, that's just starting. We can help you, and interest rates are going down. Every time I quote somebody an interest rate, I tell them, listen, things are looking like interest rates are going to continue to go down. The Fed has said they're going to continue to go down. So your interest rate could get better and better and better as we move forward in time. Don't think it's locked in at whatever I told you today.
Ellie, 2023, worked all year. 2022, there was a 3-month work gap. What problems would I face for pre-approval? None. Based on this issue, none. Other issues maybe. But based on this, none. And here's why. Because you've been back to work for at least 6 months. FHA has the most stringent rule on gaps. And FHA says if you've been out for 6 months or more, you got to be back for at least 6 months. And you hit that, Ellie. So you works. You can buy a
You're good.
house.
No worries.
Call us. Josamine, you're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Gee,
You're
this
welcome.
is a private driver, man. Remember you said he
Dude,
wanted
he's a
one?
private driver, dude.
Pick him up right
That's
now.
badass. Yeah, that's badass.
What are you driving, Javis?
You drive like a Bentley or something? That'd be fun, huh? Like, hey, picking you up in a Bentley.
Hey,
Anybody
Javis,
else
keep
there?
asking, man. I'm going to build your head in my file, so when you're ready, we'll be able to just go.
Okay, cool.
Brooke, if I have a pre-approval but didn't find a house in 90 days, so I have to do I have to do the entire process again?
Brooke, no. Your loan officer should have told you, hey, listen, we do have to re-pull your credit every 90 days because your credit stale dates. But your pre-approval is good unless you change jobs or your asset changed or anything significant changed. You should be easy to move forward. Just tell them, hey, I need a refresh, you're good to go.
Josamine, if someone is DACA recipient, they have been filing taxes, would that affect them? Will they qualify the same?
You tell them.
Well, here it is, and I need you to pay attention and pay really close attention because the answer is yes. It's the same. We do have hiccups every now and again. We had a hiccup, I think, 2019,
Yeah.
2020. There was a hiccup, and because the government's trying to figure out what to do.
Well,
California,
they're playing ping pong with the DACA people. It's
yeah,
so
using
horrible.
Using them as
It's
pawns.
so horrible.
As pawns.
It's because we get the guideline and we say, hey, you can do all DACA loans. And then the next day say, hey, starting last week, you can't do any more DACA loans. And we're like, well, I got one in escrow. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
Move on. It happens, and dude,
Unfortunately.
it breaks our heart when we have to tell
Right now,
somebody
you're
that.
good.
Yeah, right
No
now.
problems.
We're good now.
to want to read. Do you work in PA?
I work in California, I work in Texas, and I do loans in PA. I do loans in every state except New York. Every state except New York. I love New York. I get my shirts from New York, but we don't do loans in New York because the bank doesn't. Not my doing.
Monkita Guzman. How much do I need to make to purchase a $450,000 house? That's a good house, Monkita.
That's a good house. I'm going to say that if you're close to 80G, we can start touching that. Maybe 85G, start touching that. But I need to start qualifying you. And it is highly dependent on the interest rate. As the interest rate goes down, your purchase power goes up. So right now on the website, New American Funding website, the 15-year conventional is 5.25 and the 30-year FHA is 5.375, 5.375. So those are buy downs for most people, and we just factor in a buy down and see how much your purchase power is. But the way you start, give us a call. We'll get this thing going. You're going to own a home in 2024. We're going to try and help you.
Harvey Cruz. Kind of sounds like a movie star.
I know, right?
Right now I'm looking for a house. I have low credit, but I'm paying off my credit card.
I used to have a partner named Paul Cruz. Pretty badass dude.
Yeah, I had a friend named Harvey Keitel.
Did you? Oh, you had it.
He became an actor.
All right, cool. That's pretty cool.
Brooke, how much will student loans impact my chances of getting a loan? Depends.
Student loans. Yeah, student loans. So student loans is this another weird football thing. The guidelines change all the time. All the time. So we have these rules. We can go with, hey, it used to be 1%. Whatever your loan is, I have to put 1% in. Then it went to 0.5%. Then it went to reporting. Then it went to amortized. So does it affect it? Yes. Does it stop most people? Probably not. Probably not. So let's move forward.
Dylan Mathis. Dylan Mathis has his favorite bank taking over the world. He wants to know what's the score he needs for PennyMac.
PennyMac. Yeah.
500.
Yeah, I guess.
PennyMac is an investor, guys. PennyMac is an investor. The investors have the most rawest forms. So probably a 500 and PennyMac will take you.
Yeah.
But you got to go through someone to get to PennyMac.
Yep.
Pre-Gilak. How can I purchase a home with someone else's previous mortgage? Ooh.
How do you purchase them with somebody's previous mortgage?
Yeah.
Well, first off, a mortgage is you owe money on something, and so you want me to go assumption? Okay, so you going to do the assumption? Okay, cool. So what you could do is you could assume the loan, maybe. Can they happen? Yeah, you do have to go through full underwriting. There's a process. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. I do on VA to VA, not often, but enough to be good at it. So it's a full underwriting process, and you just assume their loan, and they have to sign off on a whole bunch of stuff, and you have to sign off on a whole bunch of stuff, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you're welcome, Brooke.
Score
Dylan,
needed
seriously, he's like, dude, I need a PennyMac score.
Dude, I need a PennyMac score now. Stat. Like if he was a doctor, stat. Hey, the PennyMac is the same thing. It's 580 FHA 620 conventional, unless you have more than 10% or 90% LTV, which is usually 10% down, in which case you can go all the way down to a 500 in FHA. So they're all the same guidelines. We all get our money from the same spot. There's nobody that says, hey, I get special money from special somebody. Well, sometimes the banks do their own proprietary lines, but those don't last very long because that money dries up fast.
How does hard inquiries work with home lenders if I check multiple lenders? Ask somebody with no name, just a dash.
No name, just dash. So
Blue
dash.
circle.
No, we'll go dash.
Blue dash.
Blue dash. Okay. Say blue dash. Here's how it works. If you just have one loan officer pull it, probably not going to affect you a lot. Probably not a lot. If you have two, maybe a little bit. Now, there's this magic window that nobody actually nails down. Everybody swears they know it, but when I dig in, nobody really knows it. They say it's 14 to 30 to 45 days, somewhere in that range. If a few loan officers pull your credit, it won't affect it for very much. But let me tell you, from the risk perspective, if you start to getting to 4 or 5 lenders pulling it, you're now a very risky client. And the reason is that is subject for the mortgage F word. So if you do mortgage F word, they won't know for about 60 days. And when you have a whole bunch of lenders pull it, it does affect it. It does bring it down. 1 or 2, probably not that much.
And if you don't say anything and the loan officer pulls your credit and sees that half a dozen lenders have already pulled it.
Oh, yeah, we know, by the way.
We're like, what's wrong with this
Yeah,
file?
I know, right. Right, it fell apart somewhere else. By the way,
We'll still give it a shot.
Yeah, whenever we pull somebody's credit, we get to see everybody that pulled the credit. So if you just went to ABC Loan, then Bank of America, then Wells Fargo, then Chase, then Platinum, then you went here, and then you came to New American Funding, you're like, hey, I'm going to hit you with some new news. The first thing we look at is, hey, there's been 7 banks, 7 loan officers who have tried this file in the past. What happened?
I went over there.
Okay. There have been 7 banks that have tried this in the past, and it has failed.
By Nina Washington. Where do I start to get a pre-approval?
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. We work in every state except New York. I love New York, but we don't work in New York.
But what about Washington?
Yes, we work in Washington.
What about Oregon?
Oregon too.
Illinois.
Illinois. Yes, or Illinois.
Delaware.
Delaware, yes.
Florida.
Dude, yes.
New Mexico.
Yes, everybody gets a yes.
Old Mexico.
But New York. What about
Old Mexico?
Oh, but was that part of the United States?
Oh,
no.
come on.
God, dude.
Hell.
Okay, cool.
Does FHA offer down payment assistance?
FHA does not offer down payment assistance.
Dang, my
None. Zero. None. However, it does provide the chassis where most down payment assistance programs plug into. So, like for instance, the one we do here in Calhafa is, in California, a lot is Calhafa. Calhafa will actually cover your down payment and your closing costs in some situations. And they plug into an FHA loan most of the time. Not exclusively, they can plug into a conventional loan and even a VA loan sometimes, but most of the programs plug into an FHA loan.
Does Dylan Mathis pay us or something?
I don't know.
Is that our boss
skipping
man?
our comments, guys?
He's blasting us.
I don't know.
Patience, young Dylan.
Dylan, we're gonna get to you. There's only
We
so
already
much.
answered.
There's only so much of Chris and Lee to go around.
Hey, bud. Once I'm done, I'm done.
Okay, good.
Yes, she said. I don't know what the question was.
Okay, I don't know.
Are there different guidelines for purchasing a second home?
Ooh, Shells. Ooh, Shells. That sounds like a loan officer.
I like that name too.
I do too. Hey, Shells, if you're an LO, great. If you're not, if you're a customer, here's the rules. Very simple. 3 primary categories. Keep touching the taps. Give me the hearts. Come on. 3 primary categories.
tap.
1 is a primary residence. That's the primary residence. Easiest underwriting. The second category is second home. Little tougher, 10% down. That's the thing that everybody knows. But you need reserves. That's the other thing. And the third category is investment property. That's usually 20% down, most of the time 20% down. Everybody wants to do 10 or 15 sometimes, but 20 most of the time. Second home, different guidelines, but easier than investment property. Let's do it.
Jay Viss. I'm from NYC, Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? But I'm trying to get the hell out of
Dude,
here.
you just did a Brooklyn accent?
I wanna
No,
touch-
he
I
didn't
didn't do a Brooklyn
Jay
accent.
Viss, how did he do in his Brooklyn accent?
Jay Viss, tell him what accent I really did.
Bronx?
Where Brooklyn at?
We're
Where
Bronx?
Brooklyn at?
Dude, I don't think you know anything that you're talking about.
Pregliac. Do I qualify for FHA? Does he? Hurry. And how much?
Yes. I don't know, Prebliac. We need to find out. You need a 580 FICO score, 580. And then we can go all the way up to 56.99 on DTI. That's debt to income ratio. But let's find out.
Dude,
Dude, we got a lot of questions coming in.
you're so good.
And there's nothing coming there. That's strange. Like it's locked out.
It's because it's not the badass feed. It's the Chris and
Okay.
Lee fan.
All right, cool. Thank you for all the hearts. Whoever's hearting me up, I appreciate you.
You're just hearting
very,
Lee?
Very. You're not heart. Give a couple of hearts for Chris. Here come a couple of hearts for Chris.
No,
Thank you very
all
much.
the guys hearting him.
Okay, good.
April Washington.
What about VA rates? VA rates. Good question, April Washington. We're about to tell you right now.
You don't know by heart? What kind of lender are you?
I don't know. VA right now, 5.375. 5.37. What? 5.37. Don't believe me? Here's how you do it. Go to the top of our profile. There's going to be links. There's going to be cool stuff. Click cool stuff. You're going to see the New American Funding rates for today. I got to give you a little insight. There is a little star by it, and it says you must have an 800 FICO score. You must put 40% down, and you must have a 24 DTI, something like that. And there's still a buy down, but 5.375 is what they're putting out there. That is not your quote. That is a quote that New American Funding is giving to the world.
Dude, Chris Barnes. I need you to make Chris Barnes happy
All right.
today.
Miss Chris Barnes, cool.
Today.
What does he say?
We're trying to purchase a $200,000 house, but we can't get our scores over 646. Can we purchase?
Chris Barnes, here's the catch. Yes, you can. Yes.
Boom.
580 is qualifying for FHA. 620 for conventional.
Chris
Now,
Beasy.
if you're trying to get 660, that's usually because you're trying to use a down payment assistance program. But if you're only a few points, thank you for the hearts. Thank you. So if you're trying to get that, we have little hacks that we can usually bring you up 3, 4, 5 points. If you need a lot, we send you to credit repair. We have a lot of trusted credit repair people. Loan coordinator, go up one. Loan coordinator.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
I need help with rebuilding my credit, Dodger Girl.
Oh, Dodger Girl. There's a couple things you can do. One, you can call us. That's the easiest thing. Two, if you don't want to talk to anybody, because this generation right now don't want to talk to anybody, we put a link to a credit repair company on our profile. Just go to the top. You'll see credit repair somewhere in there, and you can get your credit repaired. Or find somebody that's local and have them help you credit repair.
Jay Viss. I'm just waiting to do my taxes this month. I have you guys on speed dial.
Dude, I dig that. Jay Viss, we're here for you.
That lets me know that he's older than probably 30 because he said
Speed dial. Speed dial's badass,
Yeah,
dude.
remember when we used it?
Yeah.
Like a little code and it called
Yeah,
somebody?
yeah.
How does hard inquiry work when applying for multiple? Oh, we already answered
Yeah, I did that one applying. Cool.
Fiance told me about buying a house, but I tried. Okay.
Fiance told me about buying a house, but I tried. Told me no. She tried yesterday. She logged in yesterday.
Oh, Emma.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to get your fiance watching the Chris and Lee show a couple times. Make him watch a couple times because we're going to tell him, hey, there's a lot of people that bought a house about 2 years ago and they're sitting on $150,000 in equity or more. It's very common. Very common. Go ahead.
100K a year, FHA. How much house can I purchase? No debt.
No debt.
I love it, yo, Coca.
Yeah, I think we answered that. It's 460 or above. 460 or above.
Right. What tips do you have for someone using a VA loan?
Oh,
Ask
Leo, there's a lot of tips. First off, I'm a veteran. Thank you for
What's
your
up,
service.
Gabby?
I appreciate you, Leo. My dad's a vet. I'm a vet. My son's active Navy. Here's the tips. One, get a loan officer that really understands the VA loans. This guy right here. But because there's a few things. VA is residual driven. There's no FICO score needed. No FICO. The VA guidelines say no FICO. Also, make sure if you have any service connection at all, if you're a VA veteran, you probably know what it means. If you have any service connection at all, at 10% or greater, we can waive the VA funding fee. If your loan officer does not know this, there can be an error and they will charge you the VA funding fee. So make sure you get with someone who really knows what they're doing. There's a lot of good VA loan officers out there. We're probably the best, but there's a lot of them out there.
L, what does it mean if the home is sold as is?
So, you take that.
Okay. So, likely there's got to be some repairs that need to be made on the house to make the homeowners happy. Okay. I don't know what it is. It could be old carpet. It could be paint. It could be a lot of different things. And this tells me that this house is probably owned by some sort of investor or someone that doesn't want to dump money into the house. So what that means is there's going to be repairs. There's going to be something you don't like. They're probably giving you a little bit better value on the property, so you'll take it as is. Don't ask them for repairs. Don't ask them to replace things. Don't ask for those types of things. Also, it probably, maybe you have to have someone inspect it, but it probably can't go FHA. FHA is really hardcore on the health and hazard issues. So if there's any health issues in the house,
the hearts. I love
If
the
there's any-
hearts. Thank you for the hearts. I wish I doesn't tell you who's giving the hearts, but I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for the hearts. I really want to help you get a house in 2024. Did you finish?
want me to
answering?
take over, man? Take
No,
over.
go ahead.
So,
Your
health and
insecurities are
hazard.
showing. So's your bad breath. His insecurities are showing. We got this for you too. It's green. Your insecurities
green
are
out here,
showing.
man.
What are you
See it.
doing?
I don't know. So
Dude, what are you
when it
doing?
comes to health and hazard, FHA is going to call that out. The appraiser will go in, inspect, look and see if there's any issues, and if there are, he'll put it down. It'll have to get repaired. The sellers won't do it. That's what they're saying. If you bring this to me, we won't repair it. So that's what that means.
Reyes Miguel. Good afternoon. What's up, Reyes? Good to see you. They aren't doing anything about it. We got the people answering the questions. Brittany Christian, I'm a mortgage loan officer too. Brittany, we're glad to see you here. You're either here because you're brand new and you're trying to learn, or you're experienced and trying to see if we know what the hell we're talking about. Either way, we appreciate you. If you're making it in this market, respect. It's a difficult market.
Annoyed lady, first time here. How much can we expect to put down as a down payment?
Oh, if you're annoyed, you're gonna be really annoyed. Now,
yeah, you are.
I'm about to annoy you, forever annoyed lady. You chose that name, annoyed. You're like, hey, everybody's gonna know I'm annoyed. If you went FHA, it's 3.5%. If you went conventional, it's 5% usually, but you can do 3%. The reason we don't say 3% is because the MI gets very expensive on a 3% conventional. If you're VA, you can go 0. If you're USDA, you can go 0. However, on top of the FHA loan, there is a lot of down payment assistance programs that can help you. They usually ride on an FHA loan, and they would mean 0. So across the board, it's kind of 0, but you'd be safe with 3.5% on an FHA loan if it's your first and primary house.
Boom.
Who has a lot?
Question. Why did a lender only use my regular hours and not my OT? That $40K, I made $129K. Why did the lender only use my regular hours? Probably because you didn't have a 2-year history of overtime. That's going to be my guess. I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to see it. So what happens is every income used has to have a 2-year history. Hourly, salary, commission, overtime, any amount. Also, why else wouldn't he use overtime?
Because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Maybe you're not currently receiving it. That's another thing. So let's say you had a history of it the past couple years, but this last few paychecks, you're not receiving any overtime. So that could be the reason. A lot of different reasons. But call us. Let's dive in and we'll figure it out. Any tips for VA loans? Any negative aspects? Ooh, I've never heard that.
Ooh, veteran chick. Come on in. Let's talk about this. Come on in. Let's talk about this. So, tips for a VA loan. Make sure you have a good loan officer that understands a VA loan and talks with the realtors. Where it falls apart is some realtors out there don't understand that the VA loan, it's like any other loan. It's just financing. What they're worried about, there's one mandatory thing on a VA loan that doesn't happen on any other loan, on FHR conventional, and that is they mandate termite. They mandate it. So you need a good loan officer. If you're service connected at 10% or more, they can waive the VA funding fee. You just have to make sure that you submit your COE, certificate of eligibility, with your service connection that shows in excess of 10%, and you will waive your VA funding fee. That's a lot of money. That's 3.3% in some cases. 3.3%. The downside, there's only one real big downside to a VA loan. Only one big one. And it's a big one. If you're not service connected at anything or at 0%, the VA funding fee can be very, very expensive. So if you just do that 3.3% times $500,000, you're looking at $16,000 fee to have the loan. Now, in fairness, FHA does have the same version, which is 1.75 UFMIP, and that gets expensive. But that's the only downside for a VA loan. Other than that, badass loan.
Whitney Maddie, will an LO tell you about down payment assistance?
Some of them don't, and that's usually your newer guys. Why? Because they're complicated.
I know
and
older
you
guys
actually,
don't do them either.
yeah, they just won't. They won't. They're complicated. Some places you get less commission. Some places you don't. But some programs rather. So they don't know them and they don't want to deal with them because they're a lot more paperwork. Not a little bit more paperwork. A lot more. I will tell you about them, and I actually try and steer you away from them most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Because if you can do regular 3.5% down, you're way better off. I'll give you a dissertation on Dream for All in just a second, but go ahead.
I'm from Texas. Any tips for first-time home buyer?
Oh, heck yeah. Marzita? Help me with that. Maritza. Yes, call us. There's a lot of good programs in Texas, good down payment assistance programs, and we can help you with the down payment assistance programs. I actually did one yesterday, a qualifying for somebody in Texas that's not even a U.S. citizen. They just came in, and I was able to get them qualified for a Fannie Mae loan, 5% down. Unbelievable, awesome. We're happy to help you.
All right. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Chris. Jose Joker. I have an 824 and I want to buy a house for my daughter.
Jose, let's do it. That's all I got to say. Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Okay, guys. I'm out till next time. 2K likes from my part.
Appreciate it. 2K. Thank you very much,
Who could be J-Vis? That's the question. Who could be?
Hey,
we need them likes. We need them hearts. Whitney Maddie, what should I be aware of with FHA appraisals?
Okay, so FHA is a little different than conventional. It's more buyer friendly. But that's not what the realtors want you to know. They're like, oh, these appraisers, they stick it to you. They want to make sure the foundation is good or the roof is good. How dare they? No, this is good stuff. They don't care if it's ugly. People are like, hey, it's got 70 shag. Nobody cares if it's ugly. The FHA appraisers just want to make sure that you can live in it without having to repair it, without any, because if you have a hole in the roof, the FHA is going to go, yeah, we're not going to finance this. You might get it through conventional, maybe, but you won't get it through FHA. You won't get it through VA. You won't get it through USDA. The only ones that you could maybe is conventional, and that's the FHA looks for more buyer-friendly stuff and calls it out. Although it seems harsh, it's actually better for the buyer most of the time.
Okay, I want to do something a little different. A little different.
Cool.
I want to know what...
Veteran Chick, thank you for following.
What do you guys want to talk about? You guys have questions, that's cool, but I want to know what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about building houses? You want to talk about financing? You want to talk about something different? That's okay. But here's what I want to talk about right now.
Tell me.
I never got your dissertation on Cat Williams.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring it up to
Did you guys hear about Cat Williams?
Oh my God, I love Cat Williams. Latrice, thank you for following. Maritza, thank you for following. Veteran Chick, has anyone told you look like Israel Hutton? I don't know who Israel Hutton is, but I'm sure he's a good-looking guy.
Or girl.
Or girl. This guy, Joy, what's up, Joy? Good to see you. What else we got? Okay, so you want to hear my dissertation on cat. We'll get to your questions in a little bit. Finally, somebody popped in here. I got it going now. And we got, thank you very much for showing up Facebook. Thank you for showing up Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're live on all the platforms. I think Cat Williams is a genius. I think he's like a legitimate pioneer genius. There's not a lot of those. Pioneer because he's willing to call out ugly stuff that's going on.
Ugly?
I say ugly, yeah.
Ugly?
Well, just do the P. Diddy thing alone. Just the P.
Tell
Diddy,
me,
yeah.
Tell me.
So he says P. Diddy asked me to do something that I wasn't willing to do. I'm not gonna put it that way because I don't get banned. Okay. So P. Diddy asked me to do something that I wasn't willing to do, and because I didn't do it, I didn't get the push of all the mainstream people. I think that's real. I think that's kind of like high school. I think if you go to high school and you join the in crowd, you get the push of the in crowd, and it helps you a little bit, but it actually hurts you in the long haul. That one loner, that Bill Gates that comes out and says, no, I'm willing to do something. He's not good now, but he was back then. Anyway, I don't think he's good now. I don't know if I should say that.
Say what?
Yeah, whatever. So I think Cat Williams is a genius. I also think he's a little crazy. I think he's just like on the edge of crazy.
What do you think his purpose is right now? Is he about to launch an episode or show that he wants to get mad ratings?
Oh, sure.
What do you think he has an objective. It's clear.
Okay, so based off of the interview, if you heard the interview, it's pretty great. And he says, I have like 7 kids. I think they adopted like 7 kids. So you got to figure this guy's got to go home to his family every day. And when it's time for him to showcase, he's got to get out there and stir up some controversy. Why? So that the Netflix special that drops in May has all kinds of viewership. Now, I ask you.
Is that what it is?
Is that
Netflix
stupid? No. Yeah, he even says it.
Okay.
Is that stupid?
Right.
No, it's genius. It's great. It's what you and I would do. It's what we're doing with the owner's manual thing that we're going to be dropping sometime this year. The how to succeed in mortgage and real estate. So, is he doing a genius thing? Sure, but you know what he's doing it with? The truth that nobody talks about. If you do the truth that nobody talks about, you're either going to get beat up. Like think of the people, the ones that were saying, hey, no, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. And all of a sudden, all these commercials come out of Hollywood people going, hey, this is a good idea. You got a football star right now who's running around going, hey, I think I should do this twice a day. And crazy stuff. Well, these guys are buying into the mainstream mindset so that they can get the push of the popular people, even if it's wrong. Wrong, I think it's a bad thing to do. I think Cat is a great situation.
Andrea, is a equity loan wise versus taking the time to save the down payment when house prices are going up to purchase a second home?
So, Andrea, here's some good information. Good information. If you're able to save it and you get a equity line of credit, you use that equity line of credit, it's called 20 grand, and you were going to save 20 grand within the next 4 months anyway. You use that equity line and you pay the 20 grand back. So it did cost you a little bit because it costs use of money. But many HELOCs don't charge very much for the HELOC itself. They charge you for the amount you withdraw. So you only want to draw the amount that you have to, and then where they really make their money is on the interest. So pay it back fast, but that's where they get you because they bank on you not paying it back. In fact, that's what the credit card companies do. They say, hey, listen, if you balance transfer that $20,000 from MasterCard to Visa, you will pay zero for the next year. You know what they're banking on? You won't pay it off because they'll make all their money when you don't pay it off. That's how it works.
Nina, I want to buy a house, but my lease ends in December. What should I do?
Okay, Nina, there's some real good stuff in your favor right now. So when your lease is there, they're trying to make a monthly income. So let's just say $3,000 a month. So you're paying them $3,000 a month, and they don't want to lose that $3,000 a month. But if you came up to them and said, hey, I found somebody willing to sign a new contract at $3,300 a month, and I would like for you to let me out of my contract. The math. That's probably a good idea for the guy who owns the property who's trying to make extra money. And he's got a new 12-month situation. See, right now, rentals are going up in price. So anybody that's locked in at the amount that they're locked in at, that's usually bad news for the owner because as you're locked in at $3,000 and the market is now commanding 33, they can't raise your rents. They have to wait a year. But if you walked in with a renter and you said, hey, listen, I'm buying my own house. I have a renter. The renter's paying more and we'll sign a 12-month contract. If you were the owner, what would you do? That happens right now. Yep. That doesn't happen in descending markets. But right now we're in ascending market.
The world is a stage.
You are correct.
I agree.
You are 100% correct.
Yes. And so Cat Williams, he did say a lot. I don't know what the truth is. I'm actually a little torn. I was very entertained by the podcast. Very entertained. He had a lot of crazy stuff to say, and I'm like, oh. We'll never know the truth. He knows the truth. P. Diddy knows the truth between their situation, but he talks about a lot of people, too. And what do you think about the things he said about Steve Harvey? Like, Steve Harvey asked him to be on his show, but he's like, no, because you didn't say Bernie was great or whatever that was.
So my thought on Steve Harvey is this. The stand-up comedians that can actually command an audience, command an arena, they do arenas. No, they won't let anything stop. I disagree.
Incorrect.
And Steve Harvey doesn't do arenas. So he found his space. That's not to take away from him. He does the Family Feud right now, and I think it's hilarious. And I think he's perfect for it. And I think he's amazing. But I don't think he'd sell out an arena ever.
So you're assuming that everyone wants to do arenas.
No.
And that is incorrect.
I said they found their space.
You're saying that because Cat maybe has done an arena? Has Cat done an arena?
Yes.
Which one?
The most recent one was New York on the special.
And that special was junk compared to his other ones.
No, most recent was the worst. I will give you that.
So here's what I see. His most recent comes in, tanks. Doesn't get a whole lot of love. And then he comes out mad at everybody.
Yep.
And because he has another one coming out.
Yes.
I think he's looking for another chance to maybe regain himself.
Yes, I agree.
Using other people to do it. And maybe it is truth.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
it is
if
truth.
you're good, you'll get another shot. He will get another shot. It's already coming. He already told me in May. But there's guys out there like Dice that I've seen Dice live a bunch. I was alive during Dice's prime time. And it was just lightning, man. This guy was lightning in a bottle. You wouldn't. Everybody was walking around doing his hickory dickory dock. Everybody loved Dice. Everybody, even the people that hated. He's like Eminem. Even the ones that hated him loved him. They hated him. They loved him. Dice, same thing. But when he tries to do stand up now, it's just sad.
I think that's it, though. I mean, I think everything has its time.
Yeah.
And some people can keep going with certain things, but once you've hit a certain point, doing it again, it's kind of like Snoop Dogg doing a gangster rap album right now. It's like, dude, you're a grandpa. Yeah. Back off. You haven't been gangbanging for probably 40 years. So why even do that? You know, and when it comes to comedy, maybe you had a great thing 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago. Leave it there. Don't try and do it again. Don't try to make yourself as big as you were, using the example of the hickory dickory dock guy.
Right.
He did something great in 1980. It's 2024. Like, do your grandpa thing. Everyone's okay with that. You don't have to be.
You want to know who's knocking it out of the park right now?
That you used to be.
There's one guy who's knocking it out of the park, and I cannot believe how good he is on his comeback. His name is Jim Brewer. And Jim Brewer is this old school comedian who went down the Hollywood path for a little while, and I just watched one of his specials, and he's not getting the push from the favorite guys, but I'm watching him, I'm going, you're irrelevant. Your time is still now. Jim Brewer's doing really, really good. He's only on YouTube.
There was a reason for that. He's actually Chappelle's boy.
Is he?
They did movies together, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, he's hilarious. He's different. He's actually the same thing today. And that's the problem, is that his plays, what he was doing then, he's doing now. What Dice was doing then, he can't do now.
Yeah.
What Eddie Murphy was doing then, he can't do now.
Now go back to the Cat Williams special. Cat Williams said, hey, listen, there are some guys who developed 1 hour, and it took them 2 years to develop the hour. And then they toured the world with that hour. They weren't really comedians. They just figured out how to build 1 hour of comedy, and then they could do it in New York and Chicago and here and here and here and here.
And that's not a real comedian?
And so he said, if you're a real comedian, you can constantly come up with comedy. The minute the internet came out, you can't do that same hour because everybody wants a new hour of you, and you better be able to craft comedy. If you can't craft comedy, we just essentially pushed you out. You had your little time. Go on. He says, go on with you, boo-boo. What do you say, boy? He says, go on with you, boy. And he just pushed you out. But if you can actually continually create comedy, now you can shine. Oh, when I think about that, I think about Dice. I loved Dice. I loved him. I wish he was funny. I want him to be funny. I keep giving him chances, but he's not funny. And I want him to be funny because I like Dice. I do. But he had that 1 hour and then did not run with it. It was over. It's done. Now, there are guys who continually do it, like who's the funniest guy alive right now? I say Bill Burr is right up there. Bill Burr. And that's just because he can constantly come up with shit. And he's very angry. He'll say, put your own shit out there. Develop it. Learn how to do this.
Well, and that's what's driving him. Bill's natural anger drives him. Cat's current anger is what's going to drive him. Eminem's anger is what drove him.
What's up,
Snoop
Avocado?
Dogg's anger is what drove him.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, it's all this. And then they get rich and comfortable and there's no more anger.
And
they're
now you're
like,
Eminem.
I'm not funny anymore.
And then you're Eminem
I can't
going,
rap anymore.
Two trailer park girls go around the
I
outside.
can't throw a ball anymore.
Get around the outside.
Everyone loses their thing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anger, man. And then
Anger
Cat's
drives
mad.
you. Anger
Cat's mad.
drives you.
Are you mad? Get mad about loans, man. We gotta help these people.
I'm mad that these
I'm
people
mad
are
at
getting
the world.
pre-qualified. Why aren't
you know
getting
what?
pre-qualified?
The whole system's rigged. We need to get you a house so we can stick it to the system.
And you
stick
can
it
pay
to the
more
man.
taxes for properties.
Yes, do it.
He works for the government. Can you tell?
What?
Can you tell? Dude,
What?
I'm ready to go.
All right, cool. You know what? We appreciate you guys. We're going to help you get a house in 2024. You want to know the guidelines? You want us to help you? Even if you want us to check on your loan officer to see if he's doing a good job, just put it up here. If you have a problem, put it up here. We will solve it. Well, there's a few more. You want to answer a few more?
Oh, they all want Chris and
Okay,
Lee.
all right, cool. So
Just call us. If you have
All right,
real
cool.
questions about real estate, call us.
we're here for you. We've been Chris and Lee.
Bye.
We're out.